Okay, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, over the past 3 days, I have been talking with a gentleman who works in a data center. And tonight, we're going to present the story as he told it to me. There are other parts of it. Just for reference, anytime I've been by one of these data centers, I don't know if I'm for them or against them. Surely they're bad for the environment and everything else, but there's got to be something else going on with them. There's got to be something darker, something growing in there. I just don't know. I mean, I get that feeling when I'm around these places. I mean, why would you need military gear around these big, massive warehouses? Why would you do everything in the world to make these things run off of resources that the population needs? Unless it was something that we truly don't understand. So I started digging and trying to look and find, interviewing people that work at these data centers. Not the CEOs and the tech guys and stuff like that, but the normal guys like me and you know, that do normal jobs, that do normal stuff when we go home, like play video games and talk to people and whatever. These are the people that I want to talk to. So tonight, this is the first part of his story. I hope you enjoy it. Stay paranoid, my friends.
They didn't put night shift in the job posting. It said facility operations overnight coverage. Same thing, dressed up nicer. The pay was stupid good for a job that was mostly walking in circles with a clipboard, so I didn't ask a lot of questions. That was mistake number one. The place doesn't really have a name, not one anyone says out loud. My badge just says QDC. Nobody ever spelled it out for me. Quantum Data Center, I'm guessing. 6 nights a week, 11 to 7. Alone on the floor except for an on-call engineer who never once picked up his phone. The floor is one long room, low ceiling, cold enough I wear a jacket indoors in July. And down the center of it, 2 rows facing each other like a gallery, the boxes. Not servers. That's what I pictured before I saw them. These are cylinders. Black. Floor to ceiling. Steel thick as a bank vault door. Hung from a gantry like something's been strung up to dry. Cold boxes. The engineer called them the one time I got him on the phone. Inside, stages hanging like the plates of a chandelier, each one colder than the last, all the way down to a temperature that doesn't have a good comparison. Colder than deep space, a few thousandths of a degree above absolute zero. That's where the actual computer lives. A chip smaller than my thumbnail doing whatever it does, at a temperature the universe doesn't really allow anywhere else. That's not the part that got to me. Behind the wall in the mechanical room there's a compressor for every box and it runs in a cycle, pushes helium through, pulls it back. Slow. You feel it in the floor before you hear it. Te-chu thunk. Te-chu thunk. Close enough to a resting heartbeat that once the thoughts in your head. At 2 in the morning, alone in a room full of black cylinders taller than you cannot get it back out. Every box on that floor has a heartbeat. I made that joke to myself the first night. It stopped being a joke by the third. I used to play video games. Still do when I'm not here. First week on that floor, I'll admit it, I thought about the Hive. Resident Evil. The old games, the old movie. Umbrella's lab under the city. Red emergency lighting. A computer with a woman's voice that talks to you, right before it tries to kill you. 19-year-old me thought a job like that would be the coolest thing on earth. Cold floors. Secrets in the walls. 41-year-old me just wanted a coffee machine that worked. I'm telling you that because I want you to know I was primed for this. halfway to seeing a monster in every shadow before anything actually happened. So when I tell you the rest, I need you to know, I checked myself first. Every time. I want that on the record. Bay 7 has a viewport. Most of the boxes don't. No reason to look inside something that's just wire and steel at an ugly temperature. But 7 has a 6-inch window near the base, I guess so an engineer could eyeball a seal without opening the whole can. Every night on my walk, there'd be a skin of frost on the inside of that glass. Same as a freezer door. Second week, the frost had a shape in it. Not a face. I'm being careful here, because it's easy to make a thing sound scarier than it was, and I don't need to. It was a shape like something had been pressed flat against the glass and pulled away fast. The way your hand leaves a print on a fogged-up window. 5 points, spread wide, low on the glass. Like whatever made it was close to the floor. I wrote it in my log as Frost, Bay 7, Cosmetic. Because that's the job. You keep walking. Third week, I started timing the thump against my own pulse. Don't ask me why. You get bored at 3 a.m., you do stupid things with a stopwatch. Most nights it didn't match, why would it? It's a compressor. But some nights, Bay 7, only ever Bay 7, it matched exactly. And on those nights, if I put my hand flat on the steel, I could feel it speed up. Just slightly. Enough that I'd pull back, tell myself I imagined it, and do it again 10 seconds later, because some idiot part of me needed to know if it had happened twice. It happened twice. Every time. I pulled the work order for Bay 7 off the shared drive, looking for something boring with a part number on it. Most of it was boring. But one line, under payload, just said, biological interface stage, clearance required. Nothing else. I don't have that clearance. I checked. I'm not sure anyone on my floor does. Whatever's rated to survive down there, at that temperature, breathing or not, it didn't ship in a crate with a manufacturer's sticker on it. I've moved enough freight in my life to know the difference between hardware and something somebody found. Last night, I did my walk same as always. Stopped at Bay 7 same as always. The frost was thick enough I couldn't see through it at all. Just white. And the thump was already matching me before I'd even put a hand on it. So I put my hand on it. Flat, full palm, same spot as maybe 30 times before. And for less than a second, I want to be precise because precision's the only thing keeping me sane about this. For less than a second, I felt something on the other side meet my hand. Not the vibration. Not the cold. Pressure. Finger for finger. Palm for palm. Like something in there had been waiting with its hand already raised. I've worked that floor 6 months now. Never called out sick. Not once. Not because I love the job. Because some nights, right around the time I badge in, I swear the thump in Bay 7 slows down. Like it heard the door. Like it's glad I'm back. I met Tucker on what I was calling a Thursday. The shifts eat your sense of the calendar fast out there. You stop trusting the calendar and start trusting your body. And my body said Thursday, so we'll call it Thursday. I heard him before I saw him. A snap. A rattle. Then a wet thud against the cinder block, over and over, coming from the loading dock behind the gas cylinder cage. The one part of the building nobody walks except to sign for a delivery. He was sitting on an overturned 5-gallon bucket with a wrist rocket slingshot and a flat of warm soda cans, putting them down range one at a time at something moving along the baseboard. Didn't even look up when I came around the corner. "You're the new night guy," he said. Not a question. I told him I was. Asked him what he was doing. Pest control. He loaded another can, drew it back to his ear like he'd done it 10,000 times because he probably had. The only way to deal with these fuckers. Knock 'em out and scoop 'em up. He let it fly. Direct hit. Something along the baseboard went still, and he was up off the bucket and moving before the can even stopped rolling. Snapping on a pair of leather gloves. Dropping the thing into a 5-gallon bucket with a lid he already had waiting. His name was Tucker. Didn't offer a last name, and I didn't ask twice. Infestation specialist, he called himself like it was a real title on a business card somewhere, though I never once saw him carry anything that looked official. Just the slingshot, a case of soda, a bag of traps that never seemed to catch anything, and the look of a man who'd stopped being surprised by things a long time ago and resented the world a little for it. "Rats," he said when I asked what he was actually catching. Or that's the word they put on the work order anyway. I asked him what he meant by that. He held one up by the tail before it went in the bucket. And I want to be honest, I've seen rats. Grew up around a barn. This wasn't that. Longer than my forearm. Thick through the middle in a way that didn't hang right, like the weight was distributed wrong, like something under the fur wasn't built the way a rat gets built. Its eyes caught my flashlight and threw it back wrong. Too much light coming back for how little was going in. They don't scare right, Tucker said, like that explained it. Corner a normal rat. It panics, it runs, it bites you trying to get past you. These just watch you. Real calm about it. Calm like they already know how the night's gonna end. He talked while he worked, and once he got going he didn't need me to say much back, which suited me fine. Said he'd worked places like this before. Wouldn't say which, wouldn't say where, just places like this. With a look that told me not to push. Said every one of them had what he called the counting problem. The official number of animals caught never matched what actually went in his bucket, because somebody upstairs didn't want a real number on a piece of paper that could get read by the wrong person. Said he'd stopped caring who read what a long time ago. Said he just liked the money, the quiet, and being left alone to handle it his own way. Soda cans and a slingshot cheaper than poison, and poison never worked right on these anyhow, like something in them just burned it off. Paranoid was the word he used about himself. Unprompted. Like he wanted to get ahead of me thinking it. I know how I sound. 20 years doing this, you get like this. You start noticing patterns. Don't mean the patterns ain't real. I asked him, because I could not ask, whether he ever found any of them back by Bay 7. First time all night he stopped moving. No, he said. Not one. Not a dropping, not a gnaw mark, not a nest, nothing. Rest of this building, they're everywhere, walls, ducts, under the floor plates. That one bay, nothing. Like there's a line drawn on the floor they know better than to cross. He went quiet a second, working a can back into the pouch of the slingshot, not firing it, just holding the tension. Found one dead right at the threshold, once. Months back. Right at the edge of that bay, like it changed its mind halfway through a decision. Didn't have a mark on it. Just dead. Frozen solid, and I mean solid like it had been in there a week. Except I'd swept that spot myself the night before, and it wasn't there yet. He let the can go. Missed for the first time all night. Whatever's keeping the rats out of that room, he said. I'd very much like to keep doing the same.